Yeah, shit. Alright. Believe it or not, believe it or not, I have another friend in hospice. And it's been kind of quietly weighing on me, and I've been trying to figure out a way to cope with it. Fucking dying everywhere. He's kind of more than a friend. He's my ex-father-in-law, the father of my eldest son's mother. And I still call all of them brothers and sisters and fathers and mothers. So let's just say my father-in-law is in hospice. Trixie girl. We didn't always see it eye to eye. Kind of came from, we really didn't come from too far, two different sides of the tracks, but I guess my father, who came from his side of the track, tried to give me a little more stability and refinement. I use these adjectives not meaning to be derogatory or detrimental, just it's what comes in my head. But my wife kind of talked me into this Facebook thing. I don't even know what the hell it is. I'm starting to think it's texting with a picture, maybe? Shit. My dumb ass. I found my daughter's. Let's see if this helps anything. Maybe. Maybe not. I forgot where I was. You got me on Facebook. I don't know what the hell's going on. People sending me messages and wanting to be my friend, and I'm like, okay, I'll be your friend. I'm so clueless. But my sister-in-law, Sherry, I still call her my sister-in-law, forwarded a picture. I'm just going to fucking use names because I'm going to ask permission. I'm not just going to post this, I'm going to ask permission first. So I'm just going to use the names. Sherry Osborne, my sister-in-law, sent me a riverside picture of her husband, her brother-in-law, Doug Osborne, who is in hospice now, the father. And I don't know for a fact, but I believe it was Doug Osborne's father, Matt. And they had a stringer load of catfish. I knew where they were. I saw that picture, and I knew exactly where they were fishing. And it started making me think a little bit, because like I said, I've been struggling. I've been struggling anyway, but just to have another death looming on the horizon, it's fucking with my head. But I don't recall ever seeing a picture of Doug's father. I believe it's Mac Osborne. And everybody was smiling, everybody was happy, and everyone was successful at what they were doing. And even though Doug and I didn't always have the same philosophies or seem eye to eye, the older I got, the more I learned to respect that man for many reasons. And that picture kind of sent it home, because and I don't know the facts. I know kind of what I heard and what I can piece together, so everything that comes out of my mouth from here on out might be bullshit. But my understanding is Doug didn't come from a very happy family life. And my understanding is his father was a hardcore alcoholic. Well, Doug doesn't drink, and neither does anyone in the family. So if you start with Doug, you got to respect the fact that he was able to come from an alcoholic family, and he was able to teach his family not to drink. And coming from the mouth of an alcoholic, that's a challenge. So you got to respect that. You got to respect the fact that whatever his life situation was, he still found the time to meet with his father and his children and some other friends who I don't know who they were, and go fishing. And you got to respect the fact that he knew what the hell he was doing, because he caught fish. I mean, I went down there with him, flatback fishing. He caught flatbacks, he caught walleyes, he caught smallmouth, he caught brim, he caught everything in the middle of fucking February. He told me you go down to the riverbank, he was right. You got these maple trees, willows growing out of the riverbank. They inevitably lose a limb. And there's a scar. And when that scar starts dripping sap, in the spring, in February, March, spring, when the sap starts rising, when that scar in that tree starts dripping sap, He said that's when you go flatback fishing, and that's when you catch walleye, stripers, whatever, in the Appomattox. And he was right, and he did it. So you got to respect that. You also got to respect, and you have to I want to say feel sorrow for all that information, a lifetime of information that he has built that's in his head that will go with him. Because he would constantly try to educate people around him about his environment, the natural world, and how things worked in his world. So, in a not so formal sense, you could say he was an educator, a teacher. He may not have been the best communicator. It's not like you go into a classroom and you have a professor and you're taking notes. But he would give you little tidbits and pieces of information about when to dig a hole, whether it was a full moon or a half moon, when the acorns are going to fall, when the catfish were going to be stacked up 6 feet high in the river. I'll never get over that. The bend of the river. He said they'd be there, and they were there. And I mean, they were that thick. So, he passed on what he could, but there's still a lot to be learned. You come from a broken background of an alcoholic father. I never heard anything about the mother. I don't know what happened to her. And you still manage to successfully raise 7 kids. I think there was another. All professionals, have their own homes, have their own wives and families. You got to respect that. It's easy when you're young, 21, 22, whatever, how old I was, dating some guy's daughter. And you're full of piss and vinegar, thinking you know everything. And you're looking at this guy like he doesn't know shit. But he knew a lot of shit. He knows a lot of shit. You know, some people pass maybe there's a ceremony, maybe there's not. Maybe someone stands up and speaks for them, and maybe they just throw them in a box and bury them. But I've come to realize as I've gotten older, I'm getting ready to lose a wealth of knowledge. And a true treasure. And I don't use that term lightly. Anyone who grew up in a broken family in the sticks of Virginia in a racist society and has managed to control and maintain a relationship with a black man over thousands of acres has got to be doing something right. And you got to respect that. And I don't know what's going to happen when he passes, but I just... I see it all going to shit. So there you go. Another good reason not to quit drinking. Who's going to be next? See ya.